Welcome to the MoChill Zone. Tonight, we have another awesome show for you. Tonight, Mott's and Chili sit down with their good friend James, station manager for KUBU Radio, 96.5 FM in Sacramento, host of the TV show Libertarian Counterpoint that airs on Access Sacramento, and a person who strives to help people and offer friendship. Then, Mott's and Chili share two of their original songs, Moonlight and 24. As always, if you miss any of our previous episodes, please visit us on Instagram and Facebook for the online release dates of those episodes.
Welcome to the MoChill Zone with your boy Mott
and Chili.
And today, I have a very special guest to me. It's actually taught us both to help us both with the show every week, and just help me kick off to even get to where we are every week. Mr.
Today,
James Just. I can't tell you so many amazing things about this gentleman. He has a amazing show, The Libertarian. He also does a lot of work on multiple shows at Access Sacramento. So I'm gonna let the floor go to him now and tell him all the amazing things that he's doing.
He's the glue at Access.
Yeah.
Glue man.
Everything. He's the man. So yeah.
Oh man, you want to know everything that I do? Good Lord, that's a lot.
Man. You do so much, man. It's hard to let the people. I know all the amazing things that you do, but let the people know, because you do a lot of things for a lot of people there.
Okay, well,
including us.
We'll kind of make it short. We'll do the. I run the radio station over here at Access Sacramento, KBU, which means I essentially help people learn how to do radio. If they want to do a talk show, I teach them how to do a talk show. If they want to do a music-based show, I teach them how to kind of be a DJ. And realistically, when they get past a certain level, I have to find someone better than me, especially on the music side, to kind of act as a mentor. And so part of my job is connecting mentors with mentorees.
Nice.
You know, part of what I do, at least on there. And, you know, when it comes to Access Sacramento, a lot of what I do, I'm a therapist for people who are trying to learn how to express themselves. Really,
nice.
It's a strain. Most of what I do is, you know, no, you can do this. You're just giving people, the confidence that, you can do this. This is nothing you cannot learn, you know, and just give them the confidence to kind of move through that. And as Larry said, I host Libertarian Counterpoint on Access Sacramento. I got that I started doing that, 6 years ago now? God, 5-6 years ago now. Started as a guest. This is one of the strange stories. I joined Access Sacramento to help on that show.
Okay.
That's how I got involved in Access Sacramento, 6 years ago now, I guess it was. And I still never really got to help push buttons on the show. I joined to push buttons in the control room. My first night there to work in the control room, I went through all the classes, got all the training to work in the TV studio. My first night there, someone canceled, and so I got to be as a guest.
Nice.
And got to guest a couple shows. Guest hosted 2 shows, and then I guest hosted. I was a guest at a couple shows. I guest hosted a couple shows. Then the previous host went on a world tour. This is just before COVID.
Okay.
To go on a around the world tour, and so I was going to fill in for a year. But yeah, that's what that happened. I was as a fill-in for a year. I am now the host. And then, you know, after a couple of years of 3-4 years of that, I got hired on to do got hired on as the radio station manager over there at Access Sacramento. And, you know, we have my own projects, right? I have Late Night Love, if for anybody on the video, if anybody can see the video side. Late Night Love, which is a life, love, and relationship podcast, which I actually started when I was running for office in 2019.
Okay.
I guess it was. Just to make sure I didn't get fully involved in politics. I had one foot in something that was sane.
yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so I had to keep myself something that kept myself insane, kept myself a foot in reality. And we've been doing it ever since. So me and my spouse, we do that. Christina, we do that every night, every Saturday night.
That's awesome,
nice.
Man.
So you got getting your Dr. Drew on.
Yeah, I get my Dr. Drew on.
Yeah.
We talk about life, love, work questions, whatever anybody wants to send us, or whatever we kind of dig through on Reddit.
And what time does that come on, sir?
We've been doing it 6 o'clock recently on Saturday nights, live on our
I'm gonna check it
Facebook
out.
channel. And it goes on KUBU, it's on at what? 2 a.m. Monday night? No, 2 a.m. Monday morning,
Okay.
12 Tuesday morning, 12 a.m. Tuesday morning, and then again 2 a.m. on Wednesday. It's the same episode.
Well, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna definitely check it out. Definitely.
Yeah. Send us the links for that. Absolutely.
Well, we're gonna put all this stuff on our website anyway, so people will be able to come and check it out. So
Yeah, and then I produce another TV show, Knuckleheads of Liberty, which is kind of similar to Libertarian Counterpoint, except they do a lot of interviews, one-on-one interviews with people who are, out working in their community to make their communities more liberty focused. Is what we focus on there. And yeah, essentially I help other people make content and then try to keep myself sane in the process.
And you do a lot more stuff. You're being coy now to people. I'm gonna tell you so many other things that he does do. He's just being coy. He just telling you the little things that he does. But also, tell the people how you got to doing what you actually doing right now. Who got you into what you're doing? What made you sparked your interest in all that?
Well, that's an interesting question, because the interest was really just to help my community. The whole interest, I was not really a content creator. I really was just trying to, I had been homebound for a long time. I spent most of my life suffering from anxiety disorder. I still have anxiety disorder. I just spent most of my life suffering from it. I no longer suffer from it, right? That's the difference. I still have it. I just don't suffer from it anymore.
Congrats on that.
And so as I was, and my life had fallen apart, because of that. I was raising my children partially for periods of time as a single father. And as my children became teenagers to adults, I was seeing that, at some point I need to become more than just a dad, right? I've been focused on raising my kids, and I was doing a little bit of political consulting, but mostly I was a gig worker, right? I was whatever an app-based thing, and my car and an app could make money. That's how I was making money. And I don't know, there was something more that I needed, but I didn't have the confidence to go out and do it. And so that's why I said my first outreach was, I'm going to go help my libertarian community. That's where I started, and helping that community is what brought me to, again, Access Sacramento, to help learn how to create a TV show. And then and this is the strangest thing. The first time in my life I ever felt comfortable was when I sat down in that TV studio.
Wow.
I never knew what comfort was until I actually sat down in that TV studio. Trust me, I was not expecting it. I had surrendered to the fact that I was going to be uncomfortable, but that I was going to force myself to do this thing that was way out of my comfort zone. And I sat down in that TV studio with all the lights, the 3 cameras, and for the first time in my life, I was comfortable. I couldn't tell you what comfortable was until that moment. I had nothing to compare it with.
Wow, that's awesome.
And which is really strange, because the last place in the world you're going to think you feel comfortable is in a TV studio, right? Most people sit down in a TV studio and freak out, right? Regardless of whether the cameras are on, they just get uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable situation, and I was comfortable.
That's great.
Which is strange, because even still here, when I have to hit a record button at home on a home TV studio, it's different. If I hadn't been through the process of being on TV in the TV studio first, I would not be able to be as comfortable sitting here having this conversation with you, because it's actually different. There's something about the TV studio that was different for my anxiety disorder.
And I'm glad you have that, because I have a little anxiety myself, and some other people I know are close to me also have it. And so I'm glad you share that with people. But one thing I want you to go ahead, I had a talk with somebody who was a military friend, person that I wound up finding out he was on the ship that I was actually on, but he got out like a year before, and he's like going in front of people. Sometimes he had issues in doing that. So how would you relate to somebody who wanted to do what you're doing, or maybe like do something and they were afraid to do it? how would you get them to be more comfortable and feel where they can be able to be comfortable? Because there's people out there who want to have a voice, but they're afraid to do what you just did. So what would you say to them?
Okay, this is the interesting one because there is no secret. You start with small steps with the goal of making yourself stronger in the face of your anxiety disorder. Think of your anxiety disorder or whatever you're facing, right? Whatever your issues are facing, they're not going to go away, right? Anxiety disorder, even completely treated, doesn't go away. What happens is you become stronger in the face of it. So what used to be a level 5 hurricane is now a gentle summer's breeze, right? Over time. And that doesn't come with the flip of a switch. That doesn't come with a change of mindset. That comes with surrendering to it, essentially. And then you says, yes, I know I'm going to be uncomfortable. And find out what you can do on any given day. What I did when I was at my worst is I have to feed my children, right? You use that as the motivation to go to the store. And then because you have teenage boys and limited income, you go to the store every other day to buy food. Because if you buy a week's worth of food, the boys will eat it in 3 days. But if you buy 2 days worth of food, the boys will eat it in 2 days, right?
You can budget that way better too by going date. You can budget better that way also. Yeah.
Yeah. And well, it's just practical. But the side effect of that was I was a single father. I had a 7-year-old daughter. She needs to get out the house. And so taking her to the store every other day to feed the children was literally, and you accept that as a victory. That's a victory. The fact that you were able to, despite the fact that you feel like a satellite is going to fall on your head, that's kind of what I gave the sensation of something is the big sensation of doom. I called it a satellite falling on my head.
Yeah,
the satellite's not really going to fall out on my head, but I had to give the fear something, right? You had to call it something so I could work around it. So it's a satellite's falling on my head. That's what I'm afraid of when I'm going to step outside the house, that a satellite's falling on my head. But I'm going to do it anyway. Yeah, the satellite may fall on my head, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then eventually it becomes easier. Not that it becomes easy. It becomes easier because you become stronger. It's not that it becomes easier. It's that you become stronger. And that's something that you need to face, is that you have become stronger. It's not that your anxiety disorder or whatever it is you're facing, your depression, your physical disability, it's not that these things go away. It's that you've accepted it and you become stronger in the face of it.
That's cool, man. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that a lot. That's really cool. I thank you for sharing that, by the way. That's like I'm gonna use that in my own life. So that's something that I'm gonna try to do that. I was gonna ask you, like, if there's what are some ways you can share some mechanisms or some things that you use to cope with it. That would be great if you could share that.
I try not to give specific advice, because things that work are so individual.
Sure.
But what and sure, I can tell people this is what I've done, or this is how
I work for you, but more or less, yeah, that's what I mean.
How I work through it. But it's more the process that I try to get through, right? You want to get to the point where you're changing how you're thinking about things. But that's a process. It's not an overnight thing. And so accept the victories where you can find them. If you need a small victory, take a small victory. Pat yourself on the back for whatever victory you can.
I love it, man. I love it.
If the victory is, hey, I walked down to the store and back today to buy a soda, then that's a victory, right? If you're a homebound person and you just got out of the house, that's a freaking victory.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think we need to be more willing to accept our victories. So many of us hammer ourselves for whatever reason, sometimes legitimately, right? Sometimes we're big, I have someone who failed most often in my life, right? Until I was 40, I had no clue what I was doing, right? I was raising 3 kids and had no clue what I was doing. I had no direction in my life except other than to be a father. And, while that's a noble pursuit, it leaves you empty when your kids leave, right?
Right.
Kids hit teenage years and they no longer need you. or the same way anyway, it can leave you empty. And so you do have to find things that you are competent at and use them as tools. You know, we have transferable skills. I don't care if all you've ever done is keep a house. You have transferable skills.
Mm-hmm.
You have skills that can be transferred. I had no idea how to run a radio station, right? I knew how to create some content and I knew how to organize a community. I combined those skills with some past experience running assembly lines, working in warehouses, developing processes, quality control. And I just kind of transferred those skills and those talents into running a radio station.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't think we realize how many of the skills we pick up are transferable, right? It's not about the skill isn't flipping the hamburger, right? That's not really the skill.
Yeah.
You know, the skill is being able to balance all the various things, being able to make sure that you can follow the processes so you don't get your customers sick, that you can build a burger without it falling apart, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And you can take that skill and you can, from creating a hamburger, and you can take that and you can apply it to retail. You can apply it to working in a warehouse. You can apply the basic knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
The basic knowledge is behind to anything really. That's why those are supposed to be entry-level jobs, because they're low skills, but they teach you the most important things about processes, about how important processes exist to make sure that you don't make mistakes. They're there to help you.
Yeah. That's great. That's astute.
Yeah, I spent far too long working in QA, as you can tell. We
Well,
made hydraulic hoses, and
Oh, okay.
for things like forklifts and man lifts, and occasionally we'd make things for airplanes. And if you do something wrong and someone happens to be standing in the wrong spot or standing in the wrong condition, you can kill somebody.
Yeah.
Now, luckily, I was never responsible for any mistakes that killed somebody, but we were responsible for destroying 6 pumps in a silver mine, because some processes, despite the fact that we followed processes, we didn't follow them specifically enough, and either did the people on their side. And so the combination of these two things meant some debris got in these pumps that working in a silver mine. 6 pumps got destroyed. The pumps themselves are like 10 grand each, but any hour that a silver mine is down is costing all kinds of money. And or even if something like a friend of mine who worked there, he had made hoses, and the one hose popped off at the 7-Eleven plant. And so the whole floor of the 7-Eleven plant got covered with syrup.
Wow. Well, at least you didn't work for Boeing, right?
Yeah, it's very easy. And that's why procedures and QAs are important. And that's what you learn. That's the kind of stuff. The importance of those kind of procedures is what you learn on those entry-level jobs.
Yeah, we should tell that to Boeing.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, Boeing has its own issues, right? I did some research. I've listened to some podcasts and did a little bit of research onto what Boeing happened, and that's a management mess. That's really a case study in how to screw up a culture of a company.
Wow.
It's just,
something's wrong there.
No,
so
in 10 years, you're going to be taking classes. They're going to be using Boeing as an example. It's just.
Boeing, if you want to use me for your commercial, I am not bashing you. So
yeah, I don't do many commercials.
No, the sad thing is, the reason they're going to use it to teach other people is because that same kind of thing happens a lot. It's just the consequences aren't catastrophic like with Boeing.
Yeah.
You end up with bad coding for a video game, right, which happens all the time. This is how it manifests itself in other places. And so
that's a good point.
Very good point.
The problem with Boeing is
bigger than
consequences, right?
Yeah.
And I want Boeing to succeed because I want planes to stay in the air.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
You know,
Well, so do
American
I.
jobs.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, besides all the work you're doing there, you're a dad and of three, right? Or two, three?
I am a dad of, well, depending upon how you count.
Okay.
I am a dad of 5 biological children. I
Awesome.
have a stepdaughter. I
So
have
6.
I have an accumulated daughter. My daughter's
Okay.
best friend since high school. She calls me dad. She moved into my house
Oh, cool.
the day after graduation. No, the same day she graduated high school. She moved into the house
Awesome,
for
man.
6,
Wow.
9 months while she kind of got on her feet.
Nice.
We have an adopted soldier that, I consider him like a son. I wouldn't call
Okay.
him a son, but I consider him like a son.
Okay.
And he has
So that's
treated me
8.
like, he has given me the respect that he gives a father, which is awesome to earn that.
So that's, I'm at 8. We're at 8 now. So 8.
Yep.
Okay. That's
So,
awesome, man.
yeah. So
Cool. That's
yeah,
blessing.
where we're at.
So no wonder why you're so daggone busy all the damn time. You got everything going on, man. You know, like a Jamaican, you got 100 jobs and you're doing every 100 different things, man.
Hey,
That's why
we just try to help people. And,
That's
when you
awesome,
try to
man.
help people, you get rewarded.
You
Mhm.
You
do.
get people who, my stepdaughter, I would not call her my daughter if she did not honor me with that. She lost her father when she was young, 11 years old. And the first time I met her, she was very clear. I was not going to be her father. And then 3 years later, she started calling me her father.
Wow, man. That's
I never
amazing,
asked
man.
for it. I never expected it. I was honored when she gave me that title.
That's a
That's
true
when you earn
blessing,
it.
man. True blessing, man.
There's something about it when you earn it, right? There's
Yeah,
something about it because she didn't have to.
it is,
Mhm.
man.
That's
Wow,
cool.
man. You know what? You make a lot of people feel good and look bad in the same token. So that's awesome. But you really do, man. I mean, that's shit. You do a lot of amazing things.
And now, MoChill's song, Moonlight.
Just a night out of town, and I'm running around with you in the moonlight. Just a night out of town, and I'm running around with you in the moonlight. We started out at 8 p.m. Cocktails and tapas is how we begin. What came next is kind of a blur. I always have the best time when I spend it with her. Just a night out of town, and I'm running around with you in the moonlight. Just a night out of town, and I'm running around with you in the moonlight. The next day, I pieced it together. We hit the floor and dance forever. I'm here for that, and that's for sure. We danced all the way to the door. Just a night out of town, and I'm running around with you in the moonlight. Just a night out of town, and I'm running around with you in the moonlight.
We stumble up to the car, hot and heavy under the stars. Foggy windows all through the night, as our bodies intertwine.
Just a night out of town, and I'm running around with you in the moonlight. Just a night out of town, and I'm running around with you in the moonlight.
Stay tuned for more with James after this.